Imagine lying completely still in pitch darkness while a slow, hot needle repeatedly punctures a microscopic glass tube inside your lower back. This is exactly what happens to your body at 2 a.m. if you are over the age of 60 and ate a standard processed dinner. Right now, two fist-sized organs are desperately trying to filter your entire blood volume 60 times over while you sleep, but they are running out of raw materials. Aging kidneys break down in total silence. You will not feel the structural scarring until a routine blood panel delivers a sudden, terrifying diagnosis. By morning, you can actively reverse this midnight decay by changing the exact fluid you consume 90 minutes before your head hits the pillow. You do not have to accept a mandatory 1% loss of filtration capacity every single year. This protocol exposes the precise biochemistry of senior chrononutrition. It hands you a concrete liquid shield against tissue death. Look at the last drink you had tonight. Was it loaded with refined sugars, or was it a targeted therapeutic compound? If you cannot answer that instantly, your filtering nephrons are currently operating completely unprotected. Fix your evening beverage routine before tomorrow night. The first line of defense begins with a deep crimson botanical infusion that mimics prescription clinical therapy. Inside your body right now, over 1 million microscopic filtering units called nephrons are fighting a losing battle against raw physical pressure. When you cross the age of 60, the statistical probability of structural hypertension spikes well past 60%. This constant fluid pressure thickens and scars your delicate glomerular capillaries, forcing the surviving units to work twice as hard until they burn out. High blood pressure is a silent kidney executioner. A clinical meta-analysis published in the Journal of Hypertension revealed that consistent hibiscus consumption dropped systolic blood pressure by an average of 7.5 millimeters of mercury. The active organic anthocyanins, specifically delphinidin-3-sambubioside, naturally block angiotensin-converting enzyme to relax your deep renal vasculature. This biochemical shift takes the mechanical strain off your filtering cells during their peak nocturnal repair cycle. Steep 2 tablespoons of dried hibiscus petals for 20 minutes and drink it 90 minutes before sleep. Your biological clock dictates that blood pressure must plunge by 10 to 20% during deep sleep. Clinical nephrologists call this critical event the nocturnal dip, and it acts as a mandatory intermission for your hard-working filtration barriers. However, a landmark study in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology warns that millions of seniors lose this protective window entirely. When you become a clinical non-dipper, your kidneys face destructive mechanical stress 24 hours a day without a single second of rest. Non-dipping blood pressure destroys kidney tissue rapidly. A published clinical trial in phytotherapy research proved that evening hibiscus intake selectively maximizes your overnight pressure drop to restore this natural cellular defense mechanism. Protect your microvasculature by scheduling your herbal teas exclusively during your evening wind-down routine. The second major midnight threat is a jagged, microscopic crystal structure that physically tears through your internal tubules. Every single day, your body processes purines from food and cellular turnover, leaving behind a metabolic waste product known as uric acid. If your age-related filtration rate is already slowing down, this acid builds up in your bloodstream and precipitates into sharp crystals directly inside your tissue spaces. A massive study in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology confirmed that every single milligram per deciliter increase in serum uric acid drastically multiplies your long-term chronic kidney disease risk. Uric acid crystals lacerate internal tubular walls. Data from the Journal of Functional Foods confirms that tart cherry compounds block xanthine oxidase, the exact same biological mechanism utilized by high-strength prescription gout medications. This single nutritional habit clears toxic accumulations before they can trigger the inflammatory cascades that lead to interstitial fibrosis. Mix 1 teaspoon of pure tart cherry juice, concentrate into warm water 1 hour before bed. If these specific medical breakdowns and biochemical solutions are helping you protect your organ longevity tonight, hit the subscribe button right now. We have 3 more critical drinks to analyze, including the exact compound that shields your cellular engines from permanent sugar damage. Stay tuned as we continue tracking the ultimate evening protocols for your metabolic health. What if a traditional botanical remedy could flush out systemic uremic toxins without draining your body of life-saving electrolytes? Most standard pharmaceutical diuretics force fluid out by aggressively blocking sodium reabsorption, a chaotic process that leaves seniors dangerously depleted of potassium and magnesium. Dandelion root operates on an entirely different physiological pathway by increasing your actual glomerular filtration rate through enhanced baseline renal blood flow. A clinical trial published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine verified a rapid, significant surge in human urinary volume and frequency within mere hours of ingestion. Dandelion root flushes toxins without electrolyte loss. This plant naturally delivers high levels of organic potassium, seamlessly replacing what is lost during the nighttime flushing cycle. Furthermore, chicoraic acid inside the root actively blocks the transforming growth factor beta-1 signaling pathway to halt systemic tissue scarring. Simmer 1 teaspoon of roasted dandelion root in 2 cups of water for 15 minutes, drinking it exactly 2 hours before bedtime to clear the peak fluid surge before sleep. An elderly patient named Margaret spent years trying to combat escalating markers of metabolic fatigue and rising blood creatinine levels. Her primary filtration units were slowly suffocating because her internal tubular cells were running completely out of cellular energy. These specialized cells require massive amounts of adenosine triphosphate generated by millions of tightly packed mitochondria to constantly pump nutrients back into your blood. When these tiny cellular engines are battered by chronic oxidative stress, they break down completely and trigger widespread tubular atrophy. Dead mitochondria cause permanent cellular failure. A study in the medical journal Renal Failure showed that the active compound 6-gingerol dramatically upregulates the NRF2 antioxidant pathway inside kidney tissue. This master switch triggers a flood of protective enzymes that shield mitochondrial walls from metabolic damage. Margaret stabilized her functional lab markers simply by supporting her liver and kidneys as a unified detoxification team. Grate a fresh 1-inch piece of ginger root into hot water every single evening to preserve your internal cellular engines. Seniors face a hidden metabolic mutation where ordinary blood sugars permanently fuse to vital structural proteins. This destructive chemical process creates advanced glycation end products, turning flexible, healthy filtration membranes into stiff, non-functional tissue. Once these deformed proteins attach to your internal receptors, they unlock a massive wave of chronic inflammation and cellular scarring. Fresh lemon juice acts as a potent, immediate intervention by delivering 1.4 grams of pure citric acid per ounce. Citrate stops destructive internal crystal growth. A clinical trial in the Journal of Urology confirmed that regular lemon juice therapy successfully floods the urinary tract with protective citrate molecules. This organic compound binds directly to calcium, blocking the physical trauma and tissue infections caused by microscopic stones. Simultaneously, the heavy dose of vitamin C acts as a sacrificial substrate, absorbing the sugar damage before it can deform your delicate filtering membranes. Squeeze half a fresh lemon directly over your evening ginger tea to build a 2-layer chemical defense. Standard dietary advice focuses heavily on systemic circulation while completely ignoring the specialized microvascular beds inside your kidneys. Your afferent and efferent arterioles must dynamically dilate and constrict every second to maintain a steady, flawless filtration pressure. As you pass 60, Your endothelium loses its ability to synthesize nitric oxide, causing your internal blood vessels to narrow, harden, and slowly suffocate your nephrons. Pure beet juice reverses this microvascular starvation by feeding the highly efficient nitrate-nitrite-nitric oxide pathway. Nitric oxide prevents age-related renal suffocation. A comprehensive clinical trial published in the journal Nitric Oxide confirmed that dietary nitrate intake significantly boosts microvascular compliance and restores dynamic blood flow regulation. When paired with proanthocyanidins from pure cranberry juice, this combination simultaneously blocks harmful bacteria from adhering to your urinary tract lining. By the year 2030, chronic kidney issues are projected to impact an even larger percentage of the aging population due to these exact unmanaged vascular pathways. Blend 2 ounces of organic beet juice with pure cranberry juice as your final evening longevity habit. Your fundamental kidney architecture requires targeted, nocturnal biochemical support to survive the natural processes of aging. By structuring your evening liquids around blood pressure regulation, uric acid clearing, and microvascular dilation, you protect your filtration system. Implement this precise 5-drink protocol tonight to secure your metabolic health. Not professional advice. Consult a qualified expert as needed.